Osho. I was just reading out of the Daily Bread, that comes from the Day of Discovery people. And today I was talking about, faith. Now, one thing that's brought up in Hebrews chapter 11, about Abel. We look further into the chapter, about the different ones, that we call heroes of faith. Abraham, there's Jacob, Isaac, there's David, Samson, Jephthah, and on and on. But but there was some of the heroes of faith who were tortured. They were killed, and a lot of them they had to live in caves and things. Now, when you look at Abel and you think, well, wow, he got the dirty end of the stick. It may seem like that on the surface, but actually it's not. He has a far better reward. And I know that one day if we're faithful and stick to it, we will get a good reward. So, but it seems like, though, these heroes who were tortured and so, and they were having to live in caves and stuff. Now here today, we, in this country especially, and more so, we got this big problem is we think we got to have a big fancy house, we got to have a big car, nice car, fancy car. It's not nothing wrong with being blessed with things that God has given you. But see, there's things that people get mixed up between wants, and needs, and and it was also written in the New Testament, about being content with, like things like with, if you have food and clothing, to be content with such things, to be content with that. But are we? Are we content? Excuse me, there, I have to change hands here. Are we content with, just food and clothing? It doesn't seem that way, does it? Now, these are questions that I must ask my own self, and you must ask yourself, and to be honest. So a lot of times we talk about people should be honest with us, but we won't even be honest with ourselves. And this is where we mess up. Seems like not only is the devil our enemy, our worst enemy, but we are our own worst enemies. We need to reflect and think about things. Now me, I've learned to be, happy with just the simple things. And yes, there's things I want, but I got to reflect and think about things that I need versus I want. A lot of times there's things that I want and I can't get because the needs outweigh that. But we have to stop to think about our wants. Is it an act of greed? Or a type of greed, should I say? So we have to think about these things and ask the Lord to remove these things from us, these greedy I wants. Because sometimes it can tend to be a problem in our lives to where it draws us away from God. There's a lot of things that can draw us. Failures, too much I want, or and the I wants can even go with not just material things, but also of some kind of, I want prestige, I want recognition. Let's face it, we should look at ourselves just as lowly slaves doing what our Master wants us to do. We're not worthy. Because see, one day we'll have our reward. But the question is, if we start going to, I want this and I want that, and letting that drive us, then the question is, then where is your heart? Where is my heart? Something to think about, isn't it? So, let us pray for one another and encourage one another and ourselves into to being more thankful for the simple things. If I forget and you hear me going on to something and you catch me at it, then tell me about it. Like, hey, you need to start being content with what God has done for you and given you and blessed you. See, I can forget just like you can, but we need to be reminded. See, because there was men greater than us, as we would say in the faith, in the Old Testament. They lived in caves. They had to wear animal skins for clothing and warmth and things. So, we need to get rid of our attitudes and start evaluating ourselves, our hearts, and taking a closer look at ourselves. Because, believe it or not, the I wants can lead you to the place you don't want to go. But we're supposed to be citizens of heaven, aren't we? Then why are we acting like we're citizens of this world? Oh Lord, please forgive us and help us. Let us be ready. Pray for one another and encourage one another. For this is part of our calling. Is it not? God bless you. Shalom. And let us all think about it, okay? And let me hear your thoughts. And may your thoughts, I hope and pray, be of encouragement to others. God bless you. Shalom. And I hope